Public sector agencies today face dual challenges of managing legacy systems and processes while simultaneously striving to meet the escalating expectations of the public. Constituents, of course, now expect the same seamless and efficient and personalized experience from government in the way of services that they receive from leading private sector companies. It's in this landscape that we want to focus on today. Specialized technology systems integrators, particularly those partnering with cloud leaders like Amazon Web Services, are emerging as crucial enablers to meet that challenge. They bring not just technical expertise, but also a deep domain knowledge of public sector intricacies, and they are also able to help agencies navigate the complex transformations that involves. Joining us to talk about how agencies can benefit from this expertise and achieve greater efficiencies for the public sector more quickly is Andrea Danes, a global health and human services industry leader for Slalom. Andrea brings over 3 decades in health and human services experience, both in the public sector as well as the private sector. Andrea, thank you so much for joining us and welcome to the program.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
So from your vantage point, working with numerous public sector agencies, what are the most persistent IT challenges they face in, kind of delivering efficient constituent services? And how have traditional technology solutions attempted to address these?
It's a great question. So if I go back to where I started, as you mentioned, over 3 decades ago, as a state employee, we would take maybe 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 12 years to implement a new system. And nobody really minded that it took that long because technology at pace and scale in our personal lives was matching that. We didn't have iPhones that we traded in every other year. We didn't have new apps that we could download at will. So that pace of technological procurement and implementation didn't feel as slow as it was. But in 2025, we have constituents with expectations that government is serving them in new and innovative ways on a regular basis, while we still, in many cases, have procurement cycles and rules and processes that can still leave that 6, 7, 8 year window before things are modernized. That's just not sustainable in today's culture.
As agencies strive now to serve this increasingly digital audience, where are you seeing these traditional solutions really falling short most significantly? And what are the consequences of these limitations?
Well, I'll start with something near and dear to my heart from a health and human services perspective. The consequences of limitations mean sometimes people are not getting enrolled in support system programs, food assistance programs, housing assistance programs, medical assistance, because the technology is cumbersome, the interfaces are outdated. Maybe they're not smartphone enabled. It's certainly not an app that they can download at this point for most of these application processes. And it is failing to connect these vital services to real humans that live and work in our communities. I think there's a great opportunity to move these systems into a more modern language, into a more modern cloud-based environment that gives the state agency the opportunity to make modifications, to make them more accessible, and to create an interface that's inviting and expedites an important process such as eligibility.
And then how do modern cloud technologies, particularly like the specialized services offered by AWS, how do they fundamentally change the game for public sector efficiency and also their ability to innovate in service delivery?
This is a topic I am so excited about right now. We, along with AWS, have built an agentic AI-enabled framework that helps us help agencies migrate those legacy systems. So they may be in COBOL today, they may be on a mainframe, they may be just an outdated language that is inaccessible by most of today's programmers. Together with this framework that we've created with AWS, we can take a system like that, a legacy system. We can modernize that system in a third of the time and a third of the money that it would take to actually procure a new system. And I'll go back to an analogy that I dearly love. Historically, in public sector, if we don't like the kitchen in our house, we take the entire house down to the foundation. We rebuild the entirety of the house, and we hope and pray that kitchen's better when we finally move back in. It sounds terribly inefficient because it is. What I love about our opportunity, and again, we do this with AWS very well, is moving these things in such a way that when that migration is occurring, if that kitchen is outdated, if the bathroom needs to be reconfigured, we can do those things in line, in stream through the migration process. So now, in a third of the time and a third of the money, you've actually got the opportunity to have a system that works. And it's, we've been saying fix what matters and build what's next. This is literally groundbreaking. And in my conversations with friends I've had in the federal agencies for years, this is the game changing moment. It's exciting, incredibly exciting to be a part of.
That's a great analogy. I like that. So can you elaborate just a little bit more on the specific value proposition so that when an agency, combines with AWS's cloud capabilities with the expertise of specialized partner system integrators like your firms, how does that partnership actually accelerate the path to tangible efficiency gains?
That is a great question. And I literally had it with the secretary of an agency this morning. AWS brings incredible computing power. They have ProServe, which is a fantastic part of their organization who can help do some of this modernization. But they have their focus. They have their areas that they are spending their time and their focus on. Some of those are not as comprehensive as an agency might need them to be at that really detailed level. And that's where an organization like Slalom comes in. We go into the nitty gritty, we go into the detail. We can stand as a bridge between the agency and AWS and really make sure that all of the power of that technology, all the power of the platform that the agency has purchased is available to them through the implementation. We have people who specialize and have tons of certifications in AWS. Their every single day, eat, sleep, and breathe is AWS in that environment. And then we couple them with folks like me who you definitely don't want me doing the hands-on keyboard coding, but I understand the difference between Medicaid, Medicare, child support, child welfare, those programmatic things that have to be part of the conversation. So I really think of us as a gap filler, as the opportunity to know both the program and the technology, to build the bridge, to fill that gap and really deliver some amazing results for government agency staff who deserve that. They're some of the hardest working people you'll ever meet, with budgets that are always tight and turnover that always seems to shake them at their foundations. So being able to be a partner to them and to bring that expertise on the tech side in. The other thing I'll tell you I love that we do is co-developing with those agency staff and helping them be upskilled. If you've purchased something like AWS, you deserve to have staff who understand that technology. And when we build side by side with those agency individuals. So we leave with them having a better sense of what they bought and a better sense of how to use that to improve that constituent experience.
That's also a great point. I'm curious, can you share a common scenario or an actual example of how your organization working with agencies and together with AWS has actually helped improve their operations or, their ability to actually engage with the public more effectively?
Absolutely. I'll take two quick examples. One from a state public health agency. I will leave the state name out for the purpose of this conversation, but we have spent time with that state over the last 6 years, really modernizing their data infrastructure, how they do disease surveillance, immunization registry, and basically everything about their interaction with the public in their state level public health programs. It's been a great partnership, and we continue to do small incremental pieces of modernization in alignment with their capacity for change. Similarly, in another state, different state, an integrated service network call center, again with AWS is a fantastic partner, over about 5 years. Small pieces of work together, modernizing their infrastructure over time, improving how they're delivering through that call center to constituents. And we've been doing it at, I will say, less than $1 million per statement of work. So small incremental pieces that really help the agency move at their own pace. AWS is a great partner to work with.
And then lastly, Andrea, um, for public sector leaders, still in the process of modernizing and looking for new ways to enhance efficiency, what key advice would you offer, or what critical questions should they ask themselves in this new environment we find ourselves in, and kind of to really take advantage of potential partners like yours?
I love that question. And literally this morning was on the phone with an agency secretary. part of the challenge is not just the technology or the implementation, it's the mindset in public sector that we have to begin to shift. Whether it's going in front of a legislative body to ask for funding or writing a request to a federal funding partner for support on an implementation, those conversations have been the same or largely the same for a long, long time. You go in, you ask for $50 million, $60 million, $100 million, and then the plan to modernize is 8, 9, 10 years from now. That is, we have to go all the way to the left in this conversation and begin to understand how to communicate. And we, by the way, we support our agency clients in doing this. How do you go to the legislature and tell them, this is an agile project. We're going to have something we can demonstrate to you in 4 months. This is the small amount of money we need to get it started. Here's what we anticipate the full life cycle of that development to look like. And we're going to be co-developing it along with a partner. That's a very brand new conversation with a legislative body. It's also a brand new conversation with a federal funding partner like CMS. So making sure that the agencies are thinking not just about what they want to do differently, but how to enable that different action all the way back to the funding sources and how the progress of these implementations will be reported.
Some great advice. Well, Andrea Danes, thank you so much for taking a few minutes to share your insights with us and really kind of shedding light on ways agencies can move forward faster through partnerships like with organizations like Slalom and AWS to really deliver the services that citizens expect. So thank you so much for kind of walking us through that today.
Absolutely. It's my pleasure, and it's our pleasure to help them.